Okay, a little bit of Collision. When are we getting this show? We got stuff that's building up to Grand Slam and to Wrestle Dream. But I'm not gonna lie to you. You see the title, and I'm going like, really? Three sets of open challenges. I'll explain in a minute, but really? Let's get to the show. Let's get to the meat and potatoes of this. If you love your meat and potatoes, this is what you're going to get from me. Okay, the International Championship, and it's an open challenge, and it's Mox versus Action Andretti. Now, let's make this clear. This was his first defense, and there was no way he was going to lose. The match was not too bad. I don't think they have bad chemistry together, Action Andretti and Mox. But it was obvious that Andretti was given a little more leeway to lead the match than he should have. I'm not saying he's a bad wrestler. I'm not. But Action Andretti is not the same as Mox. I'm sorry, he's just not. You got Mox here, you got Action here, and it felt like Mox kind of pulled back a little bit to let Action Andretti lead the match a little bit to just showcase what he can do. Which, for the most part, was not bad, but it's obvious that he does not know how to lead a match. He knows how to work a match, but not to lead it. So, Moxley let him have a little bit of leeway to show what he can do. But honestly, I hope they don't do that too often, because when you have a veteran with more up-and-comer, you need to let the veteran teach the up-and-comer how to lead a match and do psychology, because it felt like a lot of tropey, particularly at the end when he started trying to kick him in the head. And understand, Mox was loved in Cleveland. He was loved. So that didn't really go very well into Andretti's corner. Mox could not be a heel. He wasn't. They loved him there. But I do believe he was allowed to lead the match a little bit, and it didn't look exactly well. Doesn't mean he didn't work the match well. Just leading it and working a match are two separate things. Mox wins, of course. Now, I'm going to break this up. I'm not doing every open challenge one behind the other one. Let's move on to trios match. Bullet Club Gold versus, I believe it was Gravity, Aerostar, and Inflamado. I don't even know what the third guy's name is. Inflamento or Inflamado. I can't remember his name. I'm sorry. It's the first time I saw him. I can't remember. But I do remember Aerostar. And of course, I recognize who Gravity is. And they did not get very far. They got their asses kicked. Mostly by Juice Robinson. Now, does this help that trio? No. Does it mean that AEW is really putting the trios titles and making trios matches important? In this situation, it was more about Bullet Club Gold getting over than seeing these new three trios, these guys in a trio. I'm sorry, that's what it felt like. I kind of wish that they were on ROH. Now, mind you, I have not seen ROH in quite a while, so maybe they are on ROH most of the time. But I kind of wish they weren't here yet, because I know that they brought Commander in, and he still needs more seasoning. I really would like him to be on ROH a little bit more. And when it comes here, you can see all these guys, they can wrestle, but it's simply they need more time to be seasoned and to be built up in story, to be built up as characters. Just leaving as stream luchadors is not enough. Particularly, they're going to get their asses whooped that easily. And they did. Now, let's get to the conversation with Tony Schiavone, Eddie Kingston, and Claudio. This was about setting up their match. So, Claudio would be willing to have another match with Eddie Kingston. And this time, Eddie's willing to do whatever it takes. Because Eddie made it very clear that this all stemmed from when Claude had basically, many years ago, more than 15 years ago, left, didn't show respect to the business, and went off to Dreamland, in other words, WWE. And he felt he didn't show respect that he needed. And since both of them knew each other so well that he said he knew his family, that he met his parents, he knows his parents. He said, I used to care about you, used to love you, you used to be family. You've been in my family, but then you've been disrespectful. And how it's been set up for all these years has now culminated in a match where not only did Claudio finally decide to let him have another shot at the ROH Championship, but two more things have to be done. Well, not two more things have to be done. Let me give it like this. He was willing to put up the Openweight Championship to make Claudio do this. He's willing to do it. The thing that he loves so much, that he's proud of, he's willing to put that sucker up. But on top of doing that, Claudio said, okay, you want this? All right. For the ROH title. But when I win, that means not only does he win the Openweight Championship, he wants Eddie Kingston to stare him straight in his face, shake his hand, and show him respect. That is what this is all about. Because I do remember when they did show the vid packages of Claudio and of Eddie, and they never reconciled their differences. Eddie couldn't stand it. He couldn't be Claudio. Claudio couldn't stand it. Eddie always seemed like he's a slacker and never showed respect to him and the business. Both of them thinking the same thing. So in this respect, Eddie, either he has to, because it's part of the stipulation, he has to hand over his Openweight title, and he's got to shake his hand and show him respect. If he loses, I'm finding this is more important for me personally, because they've been spending all this time showing how much Claudio and Eddie lost with friendship and have such animosity. But then it's going to be on an ordinary, I believe that this is not a pay-per-view. No, this is not a pay-per-view. It's just a regular possible Dynamite just called Grand Slam. And this is why I wish they would not do it here. They would do it at maybe Wrestle Dream. I believe that's a pay-per-view. I could be wrong. Why can't it be at Wrestle... Unless I'm wrong. It's not a Grand Slam. It's at Wrestle Dream. I'm kind of hoping it'll be a Wrestle Dream. But if it's a Grand Slam, I would not be surprised. Now, we get CJ talking. We get the former... Let me give it to you like this. Miro better be careful. He better not treat this woman wrong, because if she leaves him in real life, she will disappear into the ether, because every man and many women will be grabbing at that. They will do everything they can to get the former Lana in their hands, in their grasp, and love her, even though she is kind of a little nutty, let's be honest. If you've seen, I want to say it like this. There is a channel that does chiropractic work. If you look up WWE and AEW wrestlers getting chiropractic, in other words, getting chiro work, you will see that the guy who does, he's a wrestling fan, and he has worked on not only Miro, but CJ herself. And you can see she's kind of silly. She's a silly little lady. But what she did here was good. She made it very clear, you abandoned me to forsake your God and forsake me, your hot, flexible wife. And I was willing to let that happen, but I couldn't stand how things were going, even though I let it happen. And for 2 years I've been stewing. 2 years I've been wanting and dying to know. And as one of the greatest managers, do I still have it? Well, guess what now? Since you still will not have me, I'm going to have myself. I am going, before I leave here, I'm going to find out how great I am and how much I can do. So that means either she's going to be wrestling, or she's going to be managing, or she's going to do both. So this is what many people was wondering eventually. I think last year they were wondering when it came to the former Lana CJ when she was released from WWE. What will she be doing? Will she go? Was it last year or the year before? But will she come to AEW? And it's been a while. Now, mind you, when it comes to CJ, she's been having a lot of issues. Physical issues. Like I said, she was doing chiropractor work. And the guy who's done it on YouTube, he literally had to crack her because she was having a lot of problems with her back and her shoulders and her neck. So she probably took time off to really recover. So she seems to be all right. The question's going to be Miss Kirby, who talks decently well now and can speak fluent Russian. What will they be doing with her? This is going to be a big question. I have no clue what they're going to do with her. And will she be on Collision, or they're going to keep her jumping from Collision to Dynamite and back again? I hope she's on Collision and she stays there, because she's going to get lost in the shuffle in Dynamite. I'm just saying. All right, Rey Fenix versus Angelico. Haven't seen him in a while. Let me give it to you like this. This was a squash match, mainly due to the fact that Rey wants to get his hand on Moxley, so he had to go through someone bigger than him. He just wanted to prove that he can go after what happened, where he got a crowbar in his mask and a crowbar to his jaw, because he had 2 crowbars on him. So this is going to be the question of if he can handle it. It was a good match. It wasn't a bad one. Rey's always been very good at wrestling. I kind of wish I would like to see Rey Fenix and Rey Mysterio. Now, it's happened. From what I understand, in Mexico, Rey Fenix and Rey Mysterio have met each other and have wrestled each other. It's just, we're not going to see it on WWE TV. I would like to see Rey go to AEW and wrestle Rey. Rey wrestle Rey. The wrestling match of the century. The Reys going up against each other in American TV and AEW. You guys tell me if you want to see that. But you get that. Now, let me give it to you like this. Grand Slam match. That was Darby Allin versus Roderick Strong. This is a very interesting story. It is. This story is about who is going to get who first. It's going to be Robert Strong getting back Adam Cole, or is it going to be Samoa Joe getting and conquering an MJF? So it's either Joe or Strong. Don't need to hide it. We already know Joe won his match against Penta. But when you see this, they wanted to set this up that they didn't want to hurt Allen, that he had to lose against Robert Strong. Before the match, when he was coming in on his skateboard, he gets his ass destroyed by Luchasaurus, because Christian made it clear, you will never come after a TNT title again. You will never go after any title again. I want you destroyed. And that's what we told Luchasaurus, which nailed him. But he managed to get into the ring, and Nick Wayne was with him. And it was a good match. Let's make this clear. They wanted to make sure that Darby Allin did not get hurt. They did not want him to look weak. They had to make him go through adversity to get where he is. So that's what we got. Robert Strong did win due to the fact that Nick Wayne tried to stop, who was it? Matt Taman. But he couldn't do it by himself because, of course, Mike Bennett was there. And A.R. Fox came out. A.R. Fox and Nick do not mix right now. Don't want to be near him. And once A.R. Fox did that backflip onto Nick, onto his neck, and it was not intentional, even though it really was a nice backflip onto his neck. Hopefully he didn't really hurt Nick's neck too badly, because I think his knee went right here. Where this is, like, let's say this is A.R. Fox's knee, right there, straight to his shoulder and neck. Hopefully he's all right. He should be. But now, after the match was over, there was shoving due to the fact of how much Nick doesn't want AR near Darby, and Darby is hurt, and AR wants to get near Darby to see if he's all right. That's what we got in this story. Now, is it a good story? It's not a bad story. I'm not having a problem seeing AR and Nick Wayne having a feud, and Darby has to be the one in the middle to try and convince them both stop. At least it'll be a story. Is it a great one? It's an okay one. Now, we did also get a sighting from a Keith Lee. He's coming after everybody. He is, in a sense, he's resetting himself, but he made it very clear that people who are running from him because they don't want to deal with him, he said, I'm now on Collision. You're about to collide with me. And anyone who doesn't want to face me, run Pretty much he did a little bit of Bray Wyatt, which he did meet when he was in NXT. Doesn't mean that he met him for long, but he did know about him. Now, I would like to see that he does that more often, but you never know. Okay. The Outcast dealing with a Toni Storm who supposedly was putting mayonnaise on her face as a moisturizer. Look, I'm going to be honest here. I would have still wanted Ruby Soho to win. I wanted the Outcast to carry both titles for the simple reason that everyone has to come after them. It's never felt like it was about the Outcast. It was so badly booked, and it's still not very well booked. I wanted Ruby Soho as Team TBS champ. I wanted Saraya to be world champ. Why not have everyone come after them, including Jade Cargill, who, since I am mentioning her, what did we get for the second match of the night? Open challenge from Statlander doing an open challenge. That's number 2. Supposedly now she's doing open challenges just like Jon Moxley is, because she wants to do exactly what Orange Cassidy did, which makes no sense. She doesn't need to do that. I want a story with Chris Statlander. This is the reason why I don't care about Chris Statlander. She didn't have no damn story. They just brought her back because everyone loved her. Yes, she got injured when she was trying to get and building into the TBS title picture. But there's no story behind her when she came back. There's no real feud behind her when she came back. What did she do? Mercedes Martinez and Diamante didn't last very long. She doesn't have anything doing with Will Nightingale. We need matches for her that have story behind it, not just matches. So she went up against one of the Renegade sisters. It was Robin. I didn't expect it to last long, and it didn't. But what I didn't expect was, well, I'm not too surprised that the Renegades attacked her. No problem. But the person that came out was Jade Cargill. I'm going like, oh no, here we go. Now, mind you, it's good to see her back. And she whooped their asses. She whooped both Renegades flat out. They're done. But now that means we're going to have the story that has to happen, even though I don't want it to. I'm being honest here. For me personally, I'm sure everyone else is fine with seeing Jade Cargill go up against Chris Statlander because she wants to get her TV title back, which is understandable. No problem. But, and I'm going to be honest here, I do not want to see her win the damn title. I don't want her to win the title. She is done with that title. She has to do this because she's got to complete a real story of Statlander and Jade. It's got to happen. Jade has to go up against Statlander either at Wrestle Dream or at Grand Slam. I don't care. Only thing I want is Statlander to keep that damn title and for Jade to move away and start moving into the world title scene. Let her wrestle against other women that have been basically caged off from her. Like a Ruby Soho, again, yes, but this won't be for the TBS title. It'll be in the world condition. Let her go up against Toni Storm. Let her go up against Saraya. Start building in and let her go up against Britt Baker. Did you hear her ever go against Britt? Really? No. Throw her with everyone. Throw her against all the people she went up against before, but to get to the world title instead of the TBS one, which had no prestige behind it. Like I said, she's here. The title was here. They were both 0. And she had to bring that up with herself. She's gone as far as she can go. She needs to drop the title, which she did. And now she should not win it back. She needs to go away and then go from there. That is just me. You guys tell me below. Next, the third open challenge. And that is the FTR interview saying the FTR Grand Challenge, I believe what we're going to call it. Or the FTR Challenge, open challenge. They're going to go up against anyone because now they've gone through supposedly everybody. You still haven't gone up against the boys in ROH. Yeah, you're going to do a match with the Iron Savages. Good. You haven't gone up against the what are they? The Gates of Agony. Not lately. Should go up against them. Aussie Open. Have you gone up against them lately? For the titles, I believe they did. Did they? I don't think they did. I don't remember. See them go up against them. Something. I'm just saying. I'm not happy to see open challenges because FTR literally, they got no story for them. That's why they're doing open challenges. I don't know if I did Penta and Joe. We know Joe won. He won by submission. Yeah, I think I might have said it. But just in case I didn't, I'm going to say it briefly. The final thing I'm going to talk about will be the Bryan Danielson segment and what he said. Let's make this clear. We knew sooner or later this was going to happen. Now, if you didn't know what's going on, he had the interview with Tony Schiavone. And they wanted to know what he's going to do now after what he did with the strap match with a Ricky Starks. Now, he made it very clear. I love wrestling, but I have to say I'm on borrowed time because I promised my daughter when she turned 7, I would be wrapping up my wrestling career. So pretty much he said he has one more year left. He's done after that. He's not wrestling after his daughter turns 7, supposedly. Doesn't mean he won't still work for AEW. It's just he won't wrestle generally on a constant basis. That's what he said. So what I think will happen, and not talking about the story of Zack Sabre Jr. and what's going on with Ricky Starks, I'll get that in a minute. But what I think will happen with I don't think he's just going to quit AEW. He's got a lucrative contract. He is a very seasoned wrestler that could be part of creative. He was part of WWE's creative. So what I believe will happen, obviously, he will retire from active roster. Maybe he'll do it once in a while, like a one-off, maybe once a year, maybe. But in general, he will not be wrestling anymore. He won't be wrestling anymore. He will basically probably work in the back and not wrestling anymore on a constant basis. That's what I'm hoping for. He stays with AEW. They pay him. He's finally done with active in-ring competition. He's going out on his own terms. Great. That's what I hope for. Now, going back what happened with Ricky Starks. He comes out and he makes it very clear that, oh, you already made the decision about going against Zack Sabre Jr. at Wrestle Dream, which he did say. Always, everyone else gets a moment but me. I'm sitting back and catering and I want my moment. I had to whoop that ass of a Dragon Steamboat because I had to do what needed to be done. I have to make sure that now, when I was hungry, I ain't hungry no more. I am greedy. I like that part. That I'm greedy, that I want my moments. I'm going to take it. And Bryan Danielson said, I respect that. In fact, what you showed me that you belong here, that you got it. And as he's pulling out, and before all this, he said, if you'd only let me finish, I think he was going to say, if you don't let me finish, I would have called you out anyway. Because in the back pocket, I think he had knowing that they would have brought in Ricky Starks of Blackpool Combat Club, I don't know if it was going to work. Maybe. But we never got that moment because Big Bill decided to beat the shit a little bit out of a Bryan Danielson. Then, as Big Bill's pulled off of him, and you think, oh shit, is he going to fight Big Bill? Then it'll make sense he's going to Blackpool Combat Club. Nope. He just proceeds to beat up on him as well. Then Moxley comes out, he gets beaten up. And that's it. They both stand over them both. And now, in another open challenge, Moxley is up against Big Bill. This is what we got. Now, I'm sure I'm missing something. I don't know. I'm probably missing something. If I am, you guys tell me below and ask me because I'm sure I'm missing something out of this show. But I'm going to tell you. Hearing there are 3 open challenge. FTR, the main tag titles, open challenge. Chris Statlander doing open challenges. Moxley doing open challenges. No story behind them except for Statlander, and it's mostly due to the fact that since Jade Cargill went away, they needed to go back to this, but if they didn't, they would just let her just keep doing open challenges. But then, no matter who wins the TBS title, guess what? I think they would continue doing open challenges. If Jade Cargill wins, that she wins the TBS title, she'll go back to doing open challenges again, showing how damn bad this bitch is. And I want story from these 3 titles. Moxley with a story. Statlander or Jade Cargill, which I don't want, which you heard in the rest of the video. I don't want her to, but if she did, a story. And now FTR. I want a story, not just throwing anybody there. You need to build people up to do it. Now here's the thing. Now that Jungle Boy's not there, still on suspension, on unknown time, and many people now know, I'm saying this now, many people know that the network depends sometimes, because I have said this clearly, it is not a lie, that when a wrestler or a company that works for a network or corporation buys the promotion, not all the time do they just give them an unlimited budget, give them money. Many cases, many times, as I've said this before, you can check it for yourself. They expect a promotion to stand on its own 2 feet and produce whatever is needed to produce with its own roster. They rarely give them a huge amount of money. It's very rare to give them any money, or if they do, it's a very small budget, maybe 8 to 10% of their own budget. They don't just prop them up. Look what happened with WCW and Turner. He did that and it went under. That's why they don't do that anymore. That's when you see WWE and USA, they didn't give them huge amounts of money to buy anything they wanted. It was still on WWE to produce the content and to sell merch so they can buy what they need for themselves, to keep themselves propped up, not just the network that bought them, or in this case, and it's going to be Discover, is the one that's going to buy. I think that, what did they call it, Infinity or Discover? I can't remember who bought currently, who will be buying WWE if it goes through. I bet you right now, just like UFC is not giving huge funds to continue running. It's got to run on its own, with its own merch and its own product. So, when it comes to CM Punk, this is a rarity that when it comes to TBS, they paid extra money for CM Punk. They wanted him, so they were willing to set up a contract for him, make sure he got extra money, make sure that he got this. And this is one of those rare times they do that. I'm sure of it. They don't do that often, because they truly believed in CM Punk. Now the question's going to be, because of how they're booking right now, what are we going to get from Collision from now on? There's no more Punk. We do not see Punk there. That means the craziest thing we're going to have is that the network doesn't have the person they want airing on it. Will they continue having Collision on the network once their contract expires? Or maybe they may try and reduce the contract, even though it's probably ironclad. You never know how things go. But this is just me. Peace.